Hello and welcome to Miner Plays a Random Game. Let's go. This one is Black Forest. Same settings as before. 3 people, everyone's against each other. It's on hard. There you go, you can see up there. Random civilization, so I'm playing as the Chinese. Red is Mongols, Kit Bugger. And he's red. And green is the Turks, General Toggle Beg. Now, Black Forest is actually a style of map that's used widely, especially when it comes to beginners in games. Now the idea is because you get these certain choke points. I mean, this probably isn't the best of examples actually, but you get these certain points here. So for example here, there's I can wall off here. I decided to wall off here so I get this gold here, and then there's another point here, and they're usually small choke points which are easily walled off, and it allows you to boom within your base. Now, however, if I had siege onagers, I would just cut through this forest as if it was nothing. I mean, you saw some of you would have seen that in my let's skip a bit. Some of you would have seen that in one of my 3v3s that I did on Black Forest, and where one of my allies cut through the centre forest and was able to make an attack, and unfortunately he disconnected and we didn't quite win the game. I don't know whether we would have if he had stayed. To be honest, actually, I don't think we would. I can't remember what I said in the thing. Anyway, you start off with your standard, in Black Forest, you start off with your standard stuff, various turkeys or sheep around. I think this one's turkeys because of what it is. And you get your gold, you get your stone, you get your boars. I don't know where the boars are. They'll probably be called Jabberminors, actually. So, and the idea is there's just lots of wood around. Black Forest. I think Black Forest, it's Jabberminor. Black Forest is actually to do with Germany. I think that's where the Black Forest is. Now, you do want to wall off as early as you can to avoid the enemy coming in. There was one match I did where the enemy had come in, and they were able to set up base. For example, they would come down here, set up a little base here, and would I see it? No, not really. And so, if you wall off as early as you can stop the enemy getting into your base, and I suppose getting out without you realising. And then I built some more walls here, built a tower here. Unfortunately, I won't be able to. There we go. There's a castle. Won't be able to get that one just yet. And that's odd. It's red coming here. Anyway. You do see this sometimes in Black Forest games, but the choke points can be quite thin. If you look here, they could have trebuchets and easily take out that castle. And we have a look here. If I was, as I'm building military buildings here, they got bombard cannons. They would be able to take out the enemy quite easily. Well, even me, for example. So you've got to be careful that you don't build your buildings quite close. I play Black Forest quite a bit just because it's a nice, easy one to start off with, and you can allow yourself to boom because you've walled yourself off, and get a decent army and then attack. But I don't know what I'm going to say. So I'm trying to create a bit of an army here. I don't know if I'm actually creating any units. I think I'm just focusing more on getting villagers out. I don't know why I'm doing that. Don't know why that's got 11 and that's got none. How silly of me. You also want to make good use of the whole of your map. I've got a lumber camp here because it's far away and not really going to get attacked. Got a mill here because I think there were some javelinas or deer here, so that's not a problem. I set these monks down to heal the villagers that are around here. Built another town centre here. I always like to build my town centres at least one farm's length away from the wood, just so I've got space to build farms quite easily, and then wood here. You can, I rarely do it, but you can build docks on these small patches of water. You will find a few around them. Don't think I've seen a Black Forest map where you don't have water, But you could build a dock here, have some fishing ships out. I mean, I know that's only got one fish there, but the fishing ships will be able to have create fish traps, and that will be very nice indeed. You know, there's another income of food and making good use of the space that you've got. I mean, I could do the same here, and that's only got one. How many? You only find like 1 or 2 shorefish here. I don't think you find any other types of fish. Oh, lucky they got 4. Anyway, let's see. So in this one, because everyone's against everyone, it will be quite often that I end up getting attacked from both sides. I mean, this wall is a little bit peculiar just because of the way it is. What's this town centre? So you can see with the scores, I'm just ahead of red, but we're both way ahead of green. I think because red has made quite a few attacks on green. And so I've got heavy cavalry archers. I like heavy cavalry archers. I think they're my favourite unit. And there's some light cavalry there. I don't know whether I can get hussars as Chinese, but I start to build a gate here because otherwise how am I going to get through? And here come the enemies. Now with these choke points, one good unit to have are scorpions. AI is very silly. If they build a wall somewhere, they won't delete it and get through it. So it's probably a good idea just to have lots of heavy cavalry archers and try and get rid of all of these people here. I mean, none of them are archers, at least, I think. So these will be able to get through. If I just finish off this gate, I can just get through a bit easier and get through. Anyway, with these small choke points, I mean, this one's probably a good example. The enemy will have to come through this little point here. And we did the same in that 3v3 Black Forest that I mentioned earlier, where there were loads of scorpions, so when the enemy came down, they were so easily picked off by the scorpions. I mean, the same sort of would happen here. I mean, it looks like there's a tree there, I guess. Yeah, so the enemy would have to come through this point if they wanted to come through. Whoops. And so by having scorpions, that just allows so much damage. I mean, even mangonels and onagers, not siege onagers because they'll be able to cut through the trees, even mangonels and onagers will be quite useful, because if you have a bunch of them here attacking at this particular point, as in attacking ground, then quite a lot. Yeah, if you have a lot of them attacking a particular point on the ground, then any enemy that tries to get through, especially melee enemies like those cavaliers and light cavalry and any pikemen or whatnot, they'll just be picked off by these mangonels and onagers. Another thing also, I suppose, if you have some sort of archer coming and being around the same position as the mangonels and onagers, just so they can easily take off anyone that gets through. And that's what I did in that 3v3 Black Forest that I keep mentioning. I actually had Janissaries as opposed to heavy cavalry archers, and it was so we could just take out the enemy just like that, and they kept coming with Mamelukes, Paladins, can't remember what else, and they were just going just like that. And I also had hussars just to quickly run in there and take out any siege. And I had loads of food, so I wasn't worried about the amount of hussars that I lost, but as long as I could get rid of the siege, that would be a huge detriment to them as opposed to me. Now, I've entered their base, and they keep building a wall, and I think as soon as you destroy a part of a wall as opposed to gate, they do like to continue. Oh dear goodness sake. They do like to continue repairing it. So it could be a point where if you do have siege onagers, you just create a little gap in through here. Now I am taking out most of their stuff. I mean, if you look at my fog of war, I can't actually see beyond this particular point here, but they've resigned anyway, so that's not a problem. And then I go to attack here, and I don't know why green is doing this. I think he's just sending all of his people to this point and then allowing them to die. Now, it's one of the few times I actually created pikemen, because of course they get decent attack bonuses against cavalry. So I don't think really there's much more to say about Black Forest. I mean, the main, I'll soon end up getting rid of green here. I think the main thing to remember is to wall off your choke points as quickly as you can. I mean, if you're playing with people, make sure they wall off the points as well. Even if it's with Palisade, just as long as it blocks it for a short while, that would be useful. Now, and I suppose, yes, you'll also see whether the enemy comes in nearby and tries to attack your wall to get in. And then as soon as you get to the feudal age, build a stone wall. Now, Goths obviously are the ones at a slight disadvantage here because they can't build stone walls or fortified walls. So by having, there we go. So I suppose they need to create palisade walls, and just, of course, they can get decent units to take out anyone that tries to get through. So they won't be at a huge detriment. So yeah, all of those choke points, and I'd recommend having mangonels and onagers, not siege onagers, and also scorpions or heavy scorpions to take out anyone that tries to get through. It'd be great to use in a actual multiplayer match. If all of this wood was much thicker and the only way they could actually hurt me was by coming through a particular point, then yes, it would work really well, unless the enemy can get siege onagers. And I don't know how you do it, but I thought trebuchets could cut through forests, and I've never been able to do it, so I don't know about that. Other thing also, you'll probably get plenty of space in Black Forest, depending on obviously the size of the map. So make good use of your space. I mean, I've chopped away all of this. Well, it's quite a lot actually. And so, create more buildings here. Yeah, make good use of it. Make sure that it's not all compact, because then when the enemy comes in, if they just take out that little area, then that's you finished with. However, I've got town centre here. I've got another town centre here, so they'll have to do some searching. And if I had a few military buildings here, I suppose, and here, then if the enemy were to get through and started destroying me, then I could quickly get some military units and just approach from both sides. So essentially that's Black Forest. So thank you very much for watching. Oh, no, I was just going to say you can get loads of wood in this map. Don't know why I had to say that. I would have thought this would be one of the first things people would have noticed. Anyway, yeah, you can get lots of wood and create lots of farms and get lots of light cavalries and skirmishers and pikemen. So yeah, that's probably the only other thing I need to say about Black Forest. So thank you very much for watching. See you in the next part.